In the Company of Charity is a podcast by the Daughters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul. Each episode will be discussing the church, society, and service to others, all through the lens of the spirit we received from St. Vincent de Paul, the Saint of Charity. Join in the conversation by sending your comments and questions to companyofcharity@gmail.com.
Okay, welcome everybody. We're here for another episode of Sounds of the Motherhouse when we were over in Paris for our meetings. And this is a very special interview that we have today with Sister Dafina. But before we get into that, I want to welcome my friend, as always, with me, Sister Elizabeth Grime. Hello.
Hi, Sister Liz. It's always good to be with you. And definitely this month of our Sounds from the Motherhouse. I'm really excited about these interviews. And this one especially is a beautiful interview. Beautiful.
Now, you guys are going to hear some amazing stuff from Sister Dafina, who, by the way, met Mother Teresa. So, I mean, right off the bat, she was blessed by Mother Teresa.
I was going to say, she didn't just meet Mother Teresa. She was like blessed on the forehead by Mother Teresa. So this is a pretty special Daughter of Charity. And again, I say a really special interview. I just loved listening to Sister Dafina, her joy and her vocation, and her sense of the kind of the conviction that God has called her to this life as a daughter of charity, as a servant of the poor, even though she didn't always think it was the right thing for her. And to hear Sister Dafina talk about this was beautiful to see how the Lord just really very gently moved her spirit and called her to a life that she clearly is in love with.
And, the thing for me in doing this interview, there's a certain quality about her that is rare, in my opinion. Sort of a quiet intensity, a focus. And when you've been with people who, when you're with them, you're the only person in the world. They are completely present. They're with you. They're listening. They're speaking from their heart. And I just think that she's one of those people. And
I was going to say, I would agree. I would even say that when I was listening to you in this interview, I could almost hear in your voice as you were asking questions that she was really drawing you into a very calming, very sacred space. Because she has just a very gentle way about her. That I agree with you. It's unique, and it makes her a very special person.
And I think the other thing that really impacted me pretty strongly was the refrain of "God is love." She said it a couple times. You're going to hear it.
She did, yeah.
I'm convinced that God is love. And I think, each of us has those themes in our lives, those refrains, in some way, a personal vocation to bring this message of God to people. And I think that is a refrain and a theme that is very clear for her. And, other people have different messages that really they're able to communicate. But that was the one for me that was like, whew, yeah, God is love. Like, I'm convinced that God is love.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was awesome. It made me kind of think, like, if someone was going to say, what is Sister Elizabeth's mantra? I don't know what it would be. But she clearly had not just a mantra and that she kept saying it, but it was something really very deep, a deep revelation. And that's what I kept kind of coming back to as I listened to the interview, was that she really had and continues to have an experience of God's love, God's gentleness, God's intimacy with her that really helps her to live out the charism as it's lived out in her life, in her vocation. And I think she just reminded me that we all have to kind of go back to that first fervor, go back to the beginning, or just to really take that time of meditation, time of examine during the day, to really ask ourselves, what is it that God's calling me to? How is He asking me to live out this charism as a daughter of charity, as a servant of the poor, as a follower of Saint Vincent and Saint Louise? But I do believe that each of us is called in a very special way, and she reminded me that that's something I want to think about. Lent is coming. Lent is happening,
Upon us.
and yeah, and maybe during this time, it's a good time to renew. What is it that we've been called to?
Exactly. And so, friends, enter into this experience and keep on listening after the interview's over, because we're going to hear some more sounds of the Motherhouse from evening prayer from the sisters at the Motherhouse Chapel. So I know that you guys are going to love it, enjoy it, and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome, Sister Dafina, to our podcast episode. We are very excited to have you here.
Thank you for me too. It's a big grace.
English is your, third or fourth language? I don't know.
It's a gift.
But we appreciate the fact that you are able to do this in English and share a little bit.
I'm trying to do it.
You'll do a great job. I believe that. So we are currently at the Motherhouse, and you're here studying French and getting ready to be a part of the formation team for your province of Albania. So maybe tell the folks at home a little bit about where you're from growing up, and how it is that you joined the Daughters of Charity.
I'm Sister Dafina. I'm from Kosovo, and I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. We are such a big family, and my parents and my brother and my sister lives in United States. One brother is in Germany, another sister is in Switzerland, and like all the children's, I was in a school. It was not Catholic school, but every day I have gone to the church, and step by step I grew up in my faith. But I didn't ever think that I could become a sister. When I was in first grade of first school, we moved from Kosovo to Albania because my family was persecuted from the Serbians, and we moved to Albania. And there, in one church of Heart of Jesus in capital city of Albania, I had the big grace to meet Mother Teresa, and she blessed my brothers and sisters and me, and she did a cross, in sign of cross to me, and it was really, really a special feelings.
Did you know who she was?
Yeah,
they had told you.
Yeah. My mother spoke every day for her, because when we was eating, and sometimes we didn't like to eat something, or we said that this meal is not good, and she said, take care, because the children to whom Mother Teresa served, they don't have nothing to eat. And it was a big challenge for me and for my brothers and sisters to get everything that my mom prepared for us. And from my childhood, I just start to think, what does it mean, humanity, and what does it mean, the charity to the others.
And so when you had met Mother Teresa, maybe that was the first time you thought...
The first and the last. I thought that maybe one day I can be like Mother Teresa, to be a sister, but I didn't think a lot of times on that, because like all teenagers, maybe I had my dreams for the future, for the career, and what can I do with my life.
Now, do kids in Albania, do they date or do they have boyfriends? Did you have young men who were very sad when you started to talk about?
I think yes, but when I was 15, it was the first time that I was starting to hear something in my heart that was a big voice speaking to me that I have to do something for the world, but I didn't understand. And even more, we was friends in the same class, and we was neighbor, and each of those, they said, when I will grow up, I am going to be sister. When I grow up, I will be sister. But me, every day, I said, no.
No way.
No. I don't know, but I think no. Because I wanted a lot. I wanted a lot to be actor. I wanted to study architecture. And when I was in 7th grade, I just wrote 2 small books for the children's. And in 15 years old, I worked to the radio station in my city. So I was very active in my country.
You had big dreams.
Yeah, and when I felt that something is happening to me, I'm feeling that God is calling me to be sister, it was a big war to me. And I didn't like to accept. Sometimes I said to God, why are you asking to me? You know my dreams. But then I started to pray much more, and I didn't tell nothing to my family. I prayed in the morning, early morning, and late evening in my room without telling to nobody. Because when I said after 1 year, 2 years that I would like to be sister, it was like putting a bomb in my country. And nobody wanted to know it. Nobody could believe that how my life could change. But then in prayer, I understand that, it's a voice of God. And in my parish was Daughters of Charity. And I told one of the sisters that I would like to be sister, I would like to be nun. And then she told me that you can come, but I didn't like to stay in Kosovo. Because all peoples, my teachers, my family, all was against my vocations.
Wow.
And they didn't like to accept it. And I was the only one in my family that I was worrying for this big grace to me. And then I asked to the superior of Daughters of Charity, please, can you send me in Albania?
Okay.
So I can be there, because in Kosovo I'm afraid that they will not let me to follow Jesus.
Is Kosovo a very Catholic country?
No.
Okay.
No.
And what about Albania?
Albania is more Catholic than Kosovo. In reality, Albania and Kosovo, we have suffering story, because we was the first people in Balkan. We was all Catholic till the Turkish Empire came in our country, and then by violence they covered from Catholic into Muslims.
Wow.
But in Albania now, they are having more tolerance between the religions.
You know, I was thinking while you were talking, the words you describe about your vocation, like a war inside, or like like telling your family was like throwing a bomb. I just find that interesting because it's I guess reflective of the kind of society or the kinds of things that were going on in your country. I guess I would describe vocation kind of like it can be a struggle, but it's just the wording is very different. I think it's really interesting.
I can say it was the war because nobody didn't like to accept it, even me. Yeah. At the beginning, I didn't like because I thought that God is stopping my dreams, but in reality, it was not so, because I find that He is love. Yeah, I felt that God is love. He did everything for me, for my family, and for all the world. And I thought the smallest thing that I can do for Him is to give my life to Him, to serving to the poor, to serving to the ill people, to young people, to all people in need. And after my high school, I was in college, Jesuit college in Albania. And after high school, I started apostolate, but it was something that I appreciate to speak in this subject. My servant sister, after high school, she said to me, "Now you are 18, and you know what does it mean, the life in marriage from your family, from your parents, and you know what does it mean to be sister, because you have seen the life of sisters. So now you have to decide what are you going to do with your life." And the questions in that time was the freedom. So I understood that I have to decide with my freedom, with my responsibility. And in 2006, I became a sister for other sisters, for other girls that we had known each other. And from that time, I got the most beautiful name for me, Daughter of Charity, and really I'm so happy to belong to this company, because we can do everything for the glory of the God, for salvation of soul, and to help people, poor people, ill people, everybody who need our.
Is there any example or story that comes to mind for you of service that really touched your heart?
Yes, I have a lot. In reality, going to the ill peoples, I felt that Jesus is meeting me, and I'm meeting with Jesus in their suffering. I can remember especially one man, and he was with cancer, and he saw me every day, the sisters and me, going to visit him, take care for him. He has a lot of wounds in his body, and one day he asked me, but in a strong voice, and he said, "Sister, why are you doing that to me?" And I was surprised why he's asking to me so. And I said, "Because of Jesus. what does it mean that? Where is Jesus? I said, but I came to you in the name of Jesus. And he said to me, please open your hands. And I just opened a little bit. Open more and more.
Wow.
And I opened my hand. It became like a cross. And he said to me, yes, you are Jesus for me. He touched a lot my life with this word. And from that day, I was more and more sure that I am in this world in the name of Jesus. So it's not me that I'm doing something, but it's He that He's doing to me and to the others. And I believe that I just gift the love of Jesus to them, because I'm really sure that God is love, and this is the best words from the Bible.
And we all know that Mother Teresa actually took some of her spiritual ideas and things like that from St. Vincent de Paul, which is you know, our spirituality. So it's such a beautiful connection, I think, for you that.
And it was interesting for me because I didn't know that Mother Teresa won the vocation in a church of Holy Virgin in Kosovo. We have like a sanctuary, small sanctuary in Kosovo, and she get there the vocation, and I didn't know. But me too, in the same church, I won the vocation of God to be a sister. And after I became sister, I've read that she won her vocation in Letnica. It's a small village in Kosovo.
Wow.
So I think that she's like one angel to me in my life, because she did what Saint Vincent did in his time, and Saint Vincent and Saint Louis in his ministry, like a mystic of love, because he contemplated in acting.
I can see why you're going to go in formation and teach young sisters how to be daughters of charity.
So, yeah, my superiors asked me to do this service in community in my region. It was not so easy to accept it. For about 2 or 3 years,
You wrestled, you struggled with that.
Yeah, because it's a big responsibility. Now just I abandoning my life to God's hand and to His will.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy to do what He wants for me.
Now, in your experience here at the Motherhouse, you meet sisters from all over the world who come here for various things. What is that like for you to be here and to see all of that?
First of all, I'm very connected to Holy Virgin, and I'm really glad that I'm here in our Motherhouse, where Holy Virgin was appeared to Saint Catherine Labouré, and having a lot of sisters from all the worlds. I think that this is the richness that we can share, different culture, and I can see the universality of the church. I'm really so happy because something funny. When I was children, every day I said to my mom, please, can you buy for me any brother or sister? And she said to me, when you are going to grow up, you can understand that having 5 children in those conditions in Kosovo is not so easy. But when I became sister, 3 years after, she called me in telephone and she said, Dafina, do you know what I thought for you? I said, no, I don't know. And she said, now I can understand why you asked me a lot of brothers and sisters. So now you have more than I could give you. You have a lot of brothers and sisters, and it is true.
Wow.
It is true.
So your parents, who were very against you becoming a sister.
Yeah, but they respected my freedom. Mm-hmm. And now they are happy. They are proud for my vocation. And when sometimes I came to United States to visit them, they are happy that now I just get my life, and I'm very happy. For me, it's a grace to be a sister. I didn't know that the vocation, it means a lot to me. I understood that this was the project of God for me. And sometimes I think and I pray, because there are a lot of girls, a lot of good girls, that maybe they would like to be sister, to consecrate their life to God, but they are afraid.
Yeah.
And me, as a young sister, as a sister in formation, and I can say that don't be afraid. Right. God will help you. God will be with you. And if any girl will send this interview, if to anyone will move something in heart, I suggest to take time to discern what does it mean, this voice, because it will be such a big project for their life, and big project of love. And I'm so sure, I'm convinced on this, that God is love, and if God calls somebody, He calls her or him only to show His love, His greatest love.
And here's an example in you where you had these dreams and you were afraid, and now...
But He win.
Yeah. He showed you an even bigger dream.
Yeah, it's true. I've met a lot of youth people, and in Albania I worked a lot with young people, and I can compare my life and their life, even that they have a lot of things to do, but the happiness that I have sometimes is greater and greater than theirs, because it's more interesting, more important to give joy to the others than to have joy for only myself.
Right, exactly. Well, I think that's a great place to stop. You know, it's we have a great life, and it's not everyone's call, but it's a really beautiful call. And I think when people are following God's plan, God's project for their lives, that's when the peace, and that's when the healing and the love is in a deeper way and a fuller way than we could ever plan for ourselves.
Yes, sometimes some people thought or think that you are going to be happy in your life if you're going to study that, or if you are going to work in that company, or you are going to marry with somebody, you are going to be happy. Like is one receipt to give to them, but I don't think so. The happiness is born in the heart. When we find God's love, we can walk with Him. And this is, for me, is a treasure. It's really a treasure to be sister, to be daughter of charity.
And I'll share this with the group that when you and I met last week, I said, "Now, how many languages do you know?" And do you remember what you said?
Yes.
Tell them what you said.
It's a gift that I can speak some languages, but I would like to know one language that is the language of love that everybody can understand. Sometimes we hear a lot of time love, 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 love. Sometimes we lost the meaning of love. But for me, the true meaning of love we can find to the cross of Jesus, because He gave His life in His love for us.
Excellent, excellent. Sister Dafina, thank you so much.
Thank you for your invitation, and I promise to you and to all people who will hear this interview, small little interview. I know that I don't speak good English. I have never lived in the United States, but I wish you all the best, and be sure that every day you are going to be in my prayers, and I would like that you will pray for me, that I can feel what God wants for me, to be holy and to transmit to each person that we can meet in her providence, to tell that, yeah, God is love.
God is love. What a great way. Thank you all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And now it's time for your Vincentian Pulse. This has been in the Company of Charity podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.